Guys, I put the saddlebag back on, man, because I needed the storage. I think it looks good like that, though, doesn't it? What do you think, guys? I think it looks really nice like that, man. And it's still easy to get on it for me. I needed the storage because I shop with this. Matter of fact, if it doesn't rain in the morning, I'm gonna take this out and do a little bit of shopping. All right. I'm gonna have a nice little talk with all y'all. Okay? Yeah, so as for that cargo carrier, that's 72 inches wide, or I should say long, and it's 36 inches wide, and it has lights. The lights work. I started on that. I guys, I'm exhausted from putting that thing together. I started on it at 6 o'clock this morning. I finished up at about 11:30, just maybe 45 minutes ago. I am exhausted. We need stuff from the grocery store, but I'm actually my knees are killing me. My back is killing me. I did put the e-bike on it. I think the way I'm going to transport that down to the Outer Banks is I'm going to lay it down, and then I'm going to secure it with my ties. If I come across like a couple of blocks of styrofoam, and then I'm going to put a blanket down, and then I'll put the styrofoam down, and I'll put the e-bike on top of the styrofoam, and then then I'll strap it down. I think it should be okay. And hopefully we'll still have room for luggage. Otherwise, I got to put the luggage on top. So, all right, guys, I'm going to tell you, man, how I can afford all this stuff. I'm going to tell you what I make an hour, and because I'm sick and tired of hearing all these crybabies, and they're all American citizens. I'm sick and tired of hearing these crybabies cry about the price of eggs, cry about this, cry about migrants are taking our jobs, crying about, oh, there's no good jobs in America, crying about how bad America is. Let me tell you something. I'm going to start from the beginning, okay? And you're going to listen. You're going to sit and listen. I went bankrupt. I'm going to start at the very beginning. Let's go back a little further. I was a home remodeler with my father. When my father passed away, I assumed the business. I did that for 5 years. Before that, I did it for 5 years on my own, but I worked with my father for 20 years, doing flooring, home remodeling, building bathrooms. And when he died, I took it over, and I did it by myself for 5 years. And because I wasn't a foreigner like my father was, people didn't trust me. Even though I did impeccable work and I gave them fair prices, they didn't trust me because I was an American, and they know Americans rip each other off. So when 9/11 came, I'm pretty sure most of you remember 9/11. When 9/11 came, my jobs halted. They halted. Boom, just like that. All work stopped coming in for me. So I had to get a regular job. I gave up contracting. I got a job cleaning toilets in a personal care home for $7.85 an hour. And I made that money work. Then they fired the maintenance man. They asked me, "Do you want to be maintenance man?" Sure, we're going to give you $10.50 an hour. Back then, that was big money, boy. $10.50 back then was big money. So I got me a couple credit cards. I maxed them out. Because I figured, well, I'm making $10.50 an hour. They need me here because of my background. I own the place. So I maxed out 2 credit cards. The administrator was a female. So what happens? Her boyfriend comes in one day looking for a job, her old boyfriend from high school. Okay. He sets me up to get me fired. I got fired. They took his side over mine. So I had no more job. So I had to declare a bankruptcy. I owed probably about maybe maybe $20,000 to credit card companies. So I went bankrupt. You know, this talk about how it takes 7 years to clear yourself from bankruptcy, don't believe that. That's bull. That's BS. It takes 20 years to clear yourself. 20 years. At least 15 years. 15 to 20 years to clear yourself off that. Okay? So, make a long story short, from having disastrous credit, I built my credit up to over 800 now. Over 800 credit rating. Okay? I make $19.58 an hour. I'm actually making $2 below a living wage here in Allegheny County. Okay? That's all I make. That's all I make. Live in a house, brick house. I have a 2012 Harley Davidson Heritage Softail Classic with only 10,000 miles. A 2016 Jeep Rubicon Hard Rock with 47,000 miles. A Ehora Romeo Pro 2 e-bike. Okay, we have some money in the bank. How can I do this? If America is supposed to be in such horrible shape, according to you, how can I do this? How can I do this? I pay my bills on time. How can I do all this? Because I fix things myself. I do all the repairs to the home myself, guys. When I go shopping for food, I use my head. Okay? I know when the sales are going to come out because I look at the expiration dates on the food when I go in a grocery store. Okay? What a grocery store does is when food's about to expire, they put it on sale to get rid of it, or they gotta throw it out. So that's why when you stupid guys and you stupid girls, when you stupid men and women go to the grocery store, pay attention. Open up your eyes, stupid. Pay attention to the expiration dates on stuff. Okay? If you have to, write it down. You feel me? You hear me? Write it down. When you go back on that day, it's going to be for sale. You know, I look for the four for $5, $5 for $4, 4 for $5. And plus, we don't have children either. You know, if we had children, I'd probably have to get federal assistance, or would be broke. But that's all I make, guys. I make under living wage. I make $2. Living wage for Allegheny County is supposed to be $21 an hour. Okay, if I would work the daylight shift, I would only be making $18.58 an hour. Because I'm working the night shift, they give me another $1. That's the only reason why I'm on the night shift. You know, and we have very little money saved. When we retire, if I ever retire, I'm going to be living off of Social Security, as long as this creep in office doesn't touch it. Okay. See, this is why Social Security is so important to people, because they're relying on it to retire on, and it's no money. It's very little money. If I retire when I'm 67, I'll get like $1,600 a month. Out of that, I got to pay because I'll lose my health care I have now. So I got to get Medicare Part A and B. That's $150 a month. That's what my wife pays because she's disabled from her stroke she had. Now, Medicare Part A and B doesn't pay for pills, which we both need pills. Okay? Her pills are bought on my insurance. Now, once I retire, I'm going to lose my insurance with the company I'm working for now. So I'm going to have to get Medicare Part C. That's $50 more a month. Medicare Part C pays for medications. So out of that, I'm going to have to pay. Out of that $1,650 I'll be getting from Social Security, as long as this creep doesn't destroy it, I have to shell out around $200. So that means I'll only be getting $1,400. Out of that $1,400, I got to buy food. I got to pay a phone bill. I got to pay a garbage bill because that's mandatory too. I got to pay heating, electricity, water. Won't be able to go down there to the banks no more. I can tell you that. I guarantee that. I guarantee that I ain't gonna be able to buy another Harley Davidson. I guarantee that, or another Jeep Rubicon. I guarantee that. Them days are gonna be over, bro. But that's all I make, guys. I make $19.50 an hour. It's $2 below a living wage for Allegheny County. Now, if I lived up in Forest County, it's $1 above a living wage in Forest County, what I'm making right now. That's why when I talk about Trump, why doesn't he, if you want to make America great again, mandate unions for companies that have 1,000 employees or more so we can get a fair wage. Mandate a cost of living increase for all people in America, at least 5%. You don't hear nothing about that, do you? You don't hear nothing about that, boy. You know, on YouTube, there's this one person that messaged me back saying, oh, yeah, he talked about that before. I messaged her back saying, send me one link to prove that. That was 2 weeks ago. Can't find one link because there is none. When I come home during my weekdays, I have maybe 2 hours to myself. In those 2 hours, sometimes I cook, I got to eat, take my husky out for a walk. I haven't got no time to ride the Harley on my work days. Ain't got no time for that. I got to shower, shave, then I lay back down and do it again the next day. So when I hear you crybabies, when I hear you snowflakes crying about how bad this country is, boy, get to stepping. Get to stepping, boy. That's what you call life. Get to stepping. Most Americans are weak. They're cowards. They carry a Glock on them or a Sig Sauer because they can't handle themselves with this. They're punks. They got tattoos all over the place. They're supposed to be such a big Billy bad boy. Oh yeah, they're supposed to be all gangstered up. They ain't nothing but a punk. They're cowards. That's all they are. They're not more than a dang coward. And at these motorcycle rallies, you see a bunch of them, boy. They're all trying to be big and bad. They ain't nothing but a coward.